Ben ritrovati per un nuovo appuntamento di Stay Live. Oggi parleremo di banche centrali perché cercheremo di capire come la Fed e la BCE si muoveranno nei prossimi mesi. Inoltre cercheremo di capire anche dove trovare le migliori opportunità nell'obbligazionario. Oggi siamo in compagnia di Nizard, CIO Multi-Asset and Ovelay di Edmond de Rothschild Asset Management. Benvenuto.
Thank you very much.
Allora, oggi iniziamo parlando delle banche centrali e ci chiediamo come si comporteranno nei prossimi mesi la Fed e la BCE.
Yes, we think that the job is not totally done for the central banks all over the world. We think that they need and they will need to fight against inflation again this year. Just as a reminder, we think the last year was the biggest year in more than 50 years in terms of interest rates hike in the ECB, but also in the Federal Reserve. And we think that they will need to go higher in terms of the terminal rate. We think that the terminal rate in US should be between 540 to 550%, and on the Europe, we think that the ECB, the terminal rate should be between 375 to 4% maximum. Why we think that the job is not totally done? It is because there is an inflation expectation in the markets, and especially due to the US labor shortage in US, for example. And we have seen a very important activity in terms of PMI and so diffusion index. The hard data are very important in US, but also in Europe. And so the recession, the uncertainties about the recession are not for today, and that's why interest rates should go higher, and that's why we think that the terminal rate should be at 550 maximum in the Federal Reserve and 375 to 4% in Europe. The main thing, we think that today the rate expectation at the end of the year is a little bit too much complacent, because the market is waiting for interest rate cuts for the 2024, but also for the end of 2023. And we think that the fight against inflation will go and will stay the main thematic for 2023. And that's why we think that the rate cut expectation after the terminal rate is a little bit too much complacent when we are seeing the pricing, and we think that we are going for higher, for longer in terms of interest rates in the central banks. And this will be the main feature of our fixed income market for 2023.
Ecco, in quanto responsabile multi-asset e overlay, qual è la sua view in termini di asset allocation in questa fase del mercato?
Yes, this is a big question, because usually when we have seen in the past uncertainties, usually the market is rebounding a lot in the equities market, but also in the credit market. What we think today is that, as I said, the higher for longer thematic in terms of interest rates will be the main thematic for 2023, and the other uncertainty will be the recession. And that's why we think that it is preferable to be invested in bond than equities for 2023. We think that the risk perception in the bond market is much more important than what we are seeing in the equity market. Just an example, when you are seeing the volatility on the global fixed income, it's at very high level in the history. To the contrary, when you are seeing the risk perception and the volatility on the equity market, it's at very low level. The VIX, for example, which is accounting for the volatility of the global S&P, is very, very low, around 20%. And so there is something very strange. And this is maybe an opportunity, because if we are going in moderation in terms of growth. Usually, we are seeing a rise in the volatility in the equity market, but this is not the case today. And so we think that we can exploit and we can capture the opportunities in the fixed income because of the high volatility, the high level of volatility in the global fixed income. And that's why we think that the carry will be the main thematic for 2023. And that's why we are preferring now the global fixed income versus the equity market. Inside the equity market, we think that the emerging market, and especially China, will take some advantage of this normalization in the rate, because China has a good activity. It is exiting from the zero COVID policy. And so we think that today China in China in equities are much more preferable versus the US market, which are at very high level in terms of PE ratio, in terms of valuation. So globally, the carry is king today, after a year of where the cash was king in 2022. And if we are thinking that the carry is king, global fixed income should take some very good premium.
Ecco, nell'ambito obbligazionario, dove possiamo trovare le migliori opportunità in questo contesto di mercato?
Inside the global fixed income, we think that globally, the disinflation mode will be the main thematic. We think that, yes, between now and 1 year and 1 year and a half, the disinflation will go at a good rhythm. Of course, we will have some uncertainties about the fact that we could have a new wave of inflation like it is today the case because of the good activity in US and Europe. But globally, the story is the story of the disinflation. And if we are thinking that, carry should carry on. And so we think that inside the global fixed income, we prefer today the high yield markets first, secondly, the financial subordinated debt, but also the IG market and of course the emerging market. But the three main thematic in the global fixed income for us is high yield, but also IG and financial subordinated debt.
E allora il nostro tempo a disposizione termina qui. Ringrazio Michael Nizard, grazie davvero.
Thank you.
E io come sempre vi invito a seguirci su financiallounge.com e ci vediamo alla prossima puntata di Stay Live.